Hello YouTube, the biggest tournament for Eevee Grove has happened. It was the Ursi Day. There were 686 players. Really huge tournament, and there's quite a few decks I want to talk about. I think the name of this tournament is Consistency. Shout out JMPM, you were my last opponent. I guess I'll talk a little bit about my run. I went 6-2. I don't know if I've made day 2 yet. If I did, you'll be able to see me tomorrow. Over here live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jeudy, or on YouTube live, yada yada yada, jabba jabba jabba. The deck that I ended up using was Charizard. I used Charizard, a Sylveon. I think that this deck is really strong. It's currently a lot of Japanese players are on this deck. I kept it hidden as long as I could, so this deck list wasn't used that much in this tournament, but I hope that I can make day 2 and show how good this deck really is. Extremely good. Note that a lot of decks are going to cop Sylveon, right? When we go to the meta, there are quite a few people who made cut that I want to talk about. This is actually, we might have found Flareon's best, most consistent partner, Jaja Blinks. They're actually a YouTube viewer as well, Jabril, they're in chat. They ended up using this really cool deck, right? Open as thing. And it's Sandit. So if you don't know, Sandit has the discard of fire energy for 1 energy, right? So I think that's really cool. It's going to start charging up your Flareon almost immediately, unlike Torkoal that takes 2 turns, unlike Tortonator that's like hefty. It's probably the most consistent partner, right? It's a 1 energy partner, discards an energy attacks. You can use Salazzle as well, that just extends your range. It's going to deal 40. Really cool deck. Once again, congrats to Jabril for making day 2. I hope to see this deck go really far. This other deck, and like I said, you know, saw my deck with Solgaleo plus Charizard. We're seeing a lot of stage 2s with this MST. Thank you for the raid. Let me know how your tournament went as well. This is kind of important. Sylveon is broken. Sylveon's in all of these decks. I think Leftovers is best paired with Solgaleo. I think this flips the Charizard matchup. It doesn't, like, so to explain how it flips the Charizard matchup, what ends up happening is you're at 180 HP. If you attack, you end up back at 180 HP, right? And because you're at 180 HP, you end up living the Charizard. Yeah, Shubham, I saw that you were doing good. Did you make day 2 as well? So the Leftovers tech is super good. How'd your tournament go, MST? Going back to this, right, we're talking about how Sylveon in stage 2s, this guy Atsu, who's going to be in day 2 as well, is playing Sylveon plus Incineroar, right? This is legitimately a meta strat. I think Sylveon is the single best card ever printed in Pokemon Pocket so far. Best Pokemon card. 5-3, we lost. No, I'm 6-2, but I don't know if I'll make it. So yeah, I think that Sylveon's the single best printed Pokemon card we've ever gotten. It speeds up the game to insane pace. Thank you. So keep that deck in mind. Another deck I want to mention, because these are all one-ofs. MG using a Pikachu or a Choreo deck. It's just Ori, right? Ori is really strong right now. Well, there's a lot of synergy. Shaman is cool. It's a perpetual X speed, so this deck doesn't have to run X speed. It can also be electrical corded too, and eventually you can Dawn with it. So this is a really good cook. Why this deck works more now is there's a lot of EX based decks. So I just showed you Sylveon Charizard, I showed you Sylveon Incin, I showed you Sylveon Solg. All of these decks kind of just fold, and if we look at this guy's schedule, right, all of these decks that they're playing kind of just fold, right? They do just fold to this really cool combo. So really happy to see this type of deck. Let's talk about, there's also the guy who finished 7-0. They tied their last, of course, because tying just guarantees. They're playing Rampardo Silvally. So you're going to notice, and you're going to ask, why is Rampardo Silvally? You probably saw it a lot on ladder day 1. I think this deck is a deck that is good on ladder day 1, specifically because it's taking advantage of all the poorly built Eevee decks. I think that it's still a good deck, but to be as strong, it's definitely a matchup fishy deck. It's still consistent. It's, I think, one of the better Silvally decks you can use. And if you want to take advantage of people using weaker decks, this is the deck you want to use. kind of interesting. I think on something else that I want to kind of draw attention to, and I think I might make a whole video out of this. So if you guys get to this point in the video and you're like, I would love a video like this, I want to talk about tournament decks versus it's tournament decks versus ranked decks. And I think the biggest perpetrator of this is Incineroar EX. I think Incineroar EX is a terrible tournament deck. And I think the results have kind of proven that tournament after tournament. It's not a strong deck, but it's an amazing ranked deck because rank now prioritizes streaking. Like there might be a chance that none of these guys make day 2, right? This guy did not make day 2. Tiny B did not make day 2. So there's not a single day 2 Incineroar deck, at least solo Incin, right? When we go to decks, we go to Pocket, right? We go to Incin. I think that Incin, this is the weirdest phenomenon that we're having, is that Incin sucks in tournament, but is broken in ranked because you can go on streaks with Incin. So, very interesting thing that we're learning. I will not if you're going to tournament, I would never recommend Incin. But if you are playing ranked, use it. It's very fast, it's really strong. You can get wins really quick. I like the Incin Sylveon version a bit more. I think that the biggest thing, after this, I'm going to Dairycraft Primarina with Sylveon, because I think Sylveon's the best single Pokemon for consistency, right? Other decks I kind of want to talk about when we talk about meta share. Dark Retina is still extremely good, right? It's just a consistent deck. As the meta gets more wide, and as Buzzwole drops in usage, Dark Retina is going to get better. Guzzlord Nahi is going to get better. So those are decks to look out for. That's also why Silverly Rampardos is better too, because Buzzwole is dropping in usage. I think Buzzwole is the biggest loser in this set. And finally, I just dropped a YouTube video about it. Sylveon Greninja was the meta pick. Tons of top players using it, from Narumi to Aizen, Bixie as well. Kana is also a really high placer. I think that this was the deck that I've already talked about it. It allows the most skill expression. It has so much versatility. Love this deck a lot. I can show you how this deck looks. This is the version that Numatal, sorry, probably saying the name terribly wrong, used when 15-0 in a tournament, right? Double Cyrus. Of course, this is running Iono, so this is the new tech. Instead of Picom, people are dropping it for running Iono. So after you Sylveon draw a bajillion cards, you can Iono. Iono is going to do that, and a lot of the top tables actually had Iono. So it's really cool to see. I think that was like a tech that was like figured out amongst like a few players, and then they were like, let's run it, right? Love that for you guys. I think that was a really good call. Other than that, Magnezone Shiinotic also really good. Like if we go to metagame stats and we look at win percentages, 22 people brought Mag Shiinotic and it remained over 60%. That's really freaking good. Really good stats. This deck I can see go really far, right? Its matchups, let's look at its matchups because I'm kind of not fully sure what they were farming. Also, Sylveon Magnezone also did good. So I want to point out that like even though this had less players, there's a player representing it in day 2. Again, Sylveon is broken. That's the end all be all statement. Sylveon is broken. That's it, right? Sylveon cracked. But yeah, if I look at like Soromaru, this deck is gonna either have 1 or 2 Oris, but always like this like same build. And I guess that's what I want to look at was matchups, right? So if we look at the matchups for this deck, let's see by score. Lots of Soul Shiinotic. So farmed Soul Shiinotics. It did pretty good into Silver Ninja, but it also farmed all the Guzzlord Nihis, which was a lot of Guzzlord Nihis. Bro, your Charmander in the second game was a crazy play. Yeah. I drew it. It was like the last card I drew in the game. Really fun game. Yeah, I am recording a video, Austin. But yeah, I think that's really it. I think this meta is super diverse. Every deck that you were able to use in the last set is still meta relevant, and all Sylveon did is make other decks consistent. Decks that were originally like falling off, like Greninja, Giratina, are now revitalized with Sylveon. So Sylveon's super strong. I guess the biggest loser, I think the 130 damage Sylveon is unfortunately the weak link. None of them made day 2. None of them were even in contention. And it is really sad because I did believe, is it a better Shiinotic? It's a faster Shiinotic is what I'll say. And that's why you'd use it. But I think that there is an argument for some decks to run Shiinotic, other decks to not. I'll tell you why it doesn't work for my deck. Is because Shiinotic is a 2 retreat cost. Because Shiinotic is 2 retreat, you are not able to, you know, start Sylveon, right? If you start Shiinotic, you basically can't do it. 2 points it gives away, but like you're fine. The thing is HP, right? So my Cool Star says, oh, but it gives away 2 points. Yeah, but it's 140 HP. So if you get Sabrina'd in the late game, you're switching into a Pokemon that's guaranteed to survive most attacks, right? It's going to survive a Buzzwole. It's going to survive quite a few attacks. So I do think that the HP is not, the 2 points is not the detriment. The ability is so broken and the 1 retreat cost is so valid that, again, it's going to be a really, really meta deck. So yeah, I think that this meta has somehow, and I was someone who was very high on the last meta. I love this meta probably just about the same, if not more, but of course this is week 1. Ask me how I feel later. But yeah, that's it for the meta report. I guess I didn't talk about Sylveon. They're also doing really good. Right, like this deck is still pretty much the same. Sylveon is taking advantage of a lot of like poorly constructed decks, while Zera and Ori is still just consistent. I need to eat some food, chat. So bye YouTube.